From Sunnybrook Lanes in Sterling Heights, Michigan, the USA Network presents the Professional Bowlers Tour, the $100,000 Columbia 300 Open. Today's 5 finalists are, in 5th place, Tom Baker. In September, he won the PBA Grand Prix stop in Paris, France. He won 7 of his last 8 matches to qualify for these finals. The 4th place finisher, Guppy Troop of Columbia, South Carolina. He makes his 7th championship round appearance and 5th on USA. He goes for his 4th tour win of the year today. Qualifying 3rd from Chagrin Falls, Ohio, USA's Mike Durbin. The 2-time Firestone champ has 11 tour titles. In 2nd position, 25-year-old Wayne Webb, the 1980 PBA Player of the Year. He's had a good tournament and is seeking his 10th win. And the man they'll be shooting at, this week's leader, Pete Weber. The Rookie of the Year 2 years ago has been executing masterfully, averaging over 225 this week. A win puts him over $90,000 in 82 money, and he's only 20 years old. The Professional Bowlers Tour, the $100,000 Columbia 300 Open on the USA Network, is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1, and USA 1 is taking charge. By Light Beer from Miller, everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. By Mobile Detergent Gasoline, it treats dirt like dirt. And by Levi's jeans, cords, and shirts, for quality and style you can count on. Hello, everyone. Eddie Doucette along with Joe Berardi, and we are over here in Sterling Heights, Michigan. And, Joe, nice to have you with us. Our usual pal, Mike Durbin, is bowling here, and we've got ourselves what we think is a very fine 5 finalists.
Well, these are probably the 5 finest seeded players we've had all year on USA. They all have the right experience, they all have titles, and they're used to the TV exposure. And the scores have been good here this week, so I'm looking for a very exciting show. How
about 20-year-old Pete Weber? What success he has attained at a young age, and so calm, so cool.
Well, you know, it's just another great Weber. It's happening frequently. But he's attained success so quickly that he's coped with it well. He knows what he has to do. He's an experienced player now, and he's out here to get the job done.
Joe, what difference, if any, will the silicone treatment they use on these lanes make today?
Well, I feel it'll make the ball go a little longer, and if you watch the players today, we have 3 players that hook the ball quite a bit and 2 that go rather straight, and they all have an equal opportunity to hit the pocket.
Are we looking for high scores, low scores, medium?
Well, you're putting me in a position, but I feel with the players we have on the show today, I think we're going to have very high scores.
The prize money continues to escalate. $13,000 on this one. Great payday for someone.
Well, yes, the money's gotten so much better on the Pro Bowlers Tour. Every week you're subject to win $15,000 to $25,000.
Any particular things that we can look for from any idiosyncrasies that might be interesting to point out?
Well, you can look for very big hooks today from Wayne Webb and Pete Weber. And Wayne had told me prior to the telecast the only thing he's worried about is throwing the ball in the channel. So we're going to be looking for that.
2 sore hands, Webb and Guppy Troop. We'll see how it works out, and we'll be back for our first match right after these words on the USA Cable Network.
Deacon's my name, and bowling's my game.
Gutter ball, gutter ball! All right, how are you going to score there?
Come on, 3 strikes and you're out.
We just won another round of light beer from Miller.
Yeah, light sure tastes great.
Let's fill it! Tastes great!
Wait a minute! There it is, down there. Take your time.
8 ball in the pocket.
Bubba, this ball doesn't have any holes in it.
Yeah, it does.
The score's all even.
Glass frame. Who's that? Rodney. Rodney! Gotta be a mistake.
Hey, you kidding? It's a piece of cake.
All we need is 1 pin, Rodney.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
I didn't get my turn yet. I'm gonna break this tie.
A perfect egg. Or is it? Magnified 20,000 times, you see imperfections you never knew existed. Look into a car's carburetor and you may see something you never knew existed. Dirt. Dirt that could impede your car's performance. Fortunately, you can wash dirt away before it accumulates with mobile detergent gasoline. It treats dirt like dirt.
Only from Chevrolet. Only until November 15th on both cars and trucks. Get a round-trip ticket for 2 on Eastern Airlines. Good for a full year when you buy or order one of these new 1982 or 83 Chevrolets by November 15th. Fly across the country to visit relatives or give the round-trip ticket for 2 as a gift. Plus, on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars in financing costs. It's the best time to shop for a Chevy in the past 10 years.
And so we're ready to go here in the $100,000 Columbia 300 Open at the Sunnybrook Bowl in Sterling Heights, Michigan. On your left, Tom Baker. On your right, Guppy Troop. Certainly no strangers to our USA audience. And they are about set to go in the finals of this Columbia 300 Open.
Well, it's going to be an interesting match. Tommy is a relatively deliberate player. He throws the ball very soft, whereas Guppy's more straight, a little harder. Tommy has moved, he switched balls from what he used this week and moved to an outside line. So far, the result is excellent. He looks like he's got a lot of confidence now. During practice, he looked a little hesitant about using the other ball that he had tried.
He had a 216.2 average. His average for the year, 212.2. And this is Guppy Troop with a 218.1 average this week, 211.8 for the year.
Well, Guppy's first ball, it looks like he pulled it, went a little high. Like I said before, Guppy's fast. He takes no time on the approach, looks at his mark, and goes. There's nothing mysterious about Guppy's game plan. It's get up and attack the pins.
Right after it. And so he marks here in the first frame. Guppy with over $82,000 in prize winnings in 1982 and 3 tour wins, going for number 4. If he does, he'll become the first on the PBA Tour to amass 4 title wins in 1982.
Well, Guppy had told me prior to this show that he's used to wearing very loud pants, and he told me he's in mourning because he's never won from 3rd, 4th, or 5th position. He's trying to break that jinx today.
He's riding in like Johnny Cash.
That was better, much better. Ball just didn't seem to finish at the pocket where it has been all week. He's been slapping that 10 out.
I want to take a look at that last approach by Guppy Troop. We will do that in a moment. He's got it. So Guppy, who got lucky in his own words in the final 8 games, is right in there here in the finals of the Sterling Heights Sunnybrook Bowl Columbia 300 Open.
Now Baker, as you can see, really has a little problem getting his hand in the ball. All good bowlers rely on a lot of feel, and Tommy feels that he has to get his hand positioned in the right way in order to make a good shot. That ball just didn't come back. He's trying to circle the ball an enormous amount compared to what he's done during this week.
He leaves a 2-5, and here's another look at that approach by Tom Baker.
The first step takes, the second step he'll push the ball back, and then away on the third step. Very good arm swing, fluid, no tightness at all, great knee bend at the line, and that's his explosion point right there.
The differing styles of Baker and Troop. One goes right at it, the other more methodical, and we had indicated that we would probably have a look at Guppy Troop, and we will do that before this is over.
Well, that's what this was this week. It was a very equitable lane condition where it put a premium on accuracy. If you made good shots this week, you bowled very well.
Baker up by 1 there in the second.
Takes a long time to put his hand in the ball, but once he gets set, he's very quick. Here's something you don't see normally. 7-10. Ball just didn't finish.
All right, another look at a 7-10 split. This is Tom Baker, 28 years old from Buffalo, New York.
Did everything fine. Got the ball way out of the lane, which is good, but it just didn't have enough in the back ends to make the pins fly. It's just a bad break.
Picks up to 10.
You had mentioned coming in, you thought that there would be some tough leaves today. A lot of splits, but also some high scores possibly.
Well, yes. The outside line is the most advantageous to the bowler because of the angle of entry into the pocket. But also, if you do make a mistake on the outside line, you're liable to get any kind of a design to shoot at.
Guppy Troop.
Well, he pulled the first ball on that lane, made the adjustment, and went a little wide. Right now it looks like he's taking an educated guess. He's got the 2-4-5 to shoot at, which is not an easy spare. Very choppable.
Guppy's high game during the week was a 279. And here's the 2-4-5 attempt. Not always as easy as it may look. Remember, there's a foot between each of the balls. Guppy is also having problems with his hand. We mentioned Wayne Webb in our opening was having a little bit of a problem. But Guppy also, and he's a little concerned that maybe there might be something wrong.
Well, yeah, he had told us prior to the start of the tournament that he's going to have his hand looked at. You know, when you're bowling well on tour, you bowl in excess of 60 to 70 games a week, and it can be very trying on your hand. We bowl the tour right now has been in duration for the last 4 weeks, and it gets very strenuous.
There it is. He leaves more.
Well, it looks like he's a little lost right now. He's not performing the same way he did during the week. That ball he laid short again is like the first frame. Okay, now if you watch Guppy's push away, goes right into a straight arm swing and then just pulls the ball at the bottom of the swing. Ends up hitting high, leaving the 3-6-10.
The voice of Joe Berardi, who's working with us. Oh, boy.
Takes the 3 right out. That's another spare. It's not that easy.
A lot of nerves amongst Guppy Troop followers. There's his fiancée, who is a regular follower of Guppy, supporter. Now to Tom Baker, who is up by 6 in the 4th.
Well, Tom got the break right back and has a chance to double and go up 16 pins. It's what we call a weak 10. The ball made the same move as it did when he left the 7-10, but it came a little higher in the pocket, but not enough to knock the 10 out. See, he gets the ball way out on the lane. Great extension for Tom. Now watch the ball. As it hits the pins, it deflects to the right.
Live action. He's got it. That's our Tom Baker. He had a high game of 296 this week. And right now is sailing along up by 6 pins.
You know, all 5 of these players on the show today have so much TV experience that it's not the lights that are bothering them. Once in a while we'll get a player, it's his first appearance on TV, and it's just from nerves. But they seem to be having a little problem today getting accustomed to the lane conditions.
Would the silicone dressing have an effect?
It could. Silicone has an effect on your hands and the ball because the silicone builds up around the ball, and it's very difficult to get off.
There's that little hitch. There it comes.
Bad pull.
Tough leave.
That's 6-7-10. He tried to compensate for hitting right in the pocket, and when you try and do that, you have a tendency to fit the ball, which what Tom did. Watch, he won't get the ball out to the right as far. At the bottom of the swing, he just pulls it enough to hook high and leave a split.
Back to live action. Tom Baker. Talking about the silicone dressing. When we get to Wayne Webb, we'll get into it more. He does not like bowling on these kind of lanes. Troop right now. +8 in the 5th frame. And getting set to go, and we'll take a break right now. And when we return, we'll have Guppy Troop from our Sunnybrook Bowl Lanes here in Sterling Heights, Michigan, and we'll come back on the USA Network.
Fresh and clean as a whistle. That's Irish Spring. Fresh and clean as a whistle. Irish Spring's green and white stripes have 2 truly effective deodorants. 2 deodorants.
And a fine, fresh scent.
So you're fresh and
Clean as a whistle.
Irish Spring deodorant soap gets you fresh and clean as a whistle.
In 1955, a rebel named James Dean became an international film legend and introduced Levi's original blue jeans to a whole new generation. Since then, we've kind of redefined the word jeans, if not the man who wears them. Now there are Levi's Moving On jeans in styles you might not even call jeans, in colors that aren't even blue. We call them Moving On because we figure the guy who wears them is in a bit more of a hurry.
Keep your eye on USA this November. There's a lot to be thankful for as we fill your week with an action-packed sports lineup. Sundays and Mondays, you'll continue to thrill to USA's electrifying College Football 82. And keep checking with USA Tuesday nights this month for more of our exclusive national coverage of the Fast and Furious NHL. There's plenty of excitement afoot Wednesday nights on USA with the beginning of another explosive season of the Wild and Woolly Major Indoor Soccer League. Then fly with a bird and catch the magic as we tip off a brand new spectacular season of USA's Thursday night NBA. And every Friday night, we'll keep hitting you with our best shot on USA's Friday Night Boxing. Plus, starting November 26th, you'll share the dramatic ups and downs of college basketball as USA premieres an extensive schedule, including 3 games a week from the powerful Big East. It might be getting cold outside, but the sports lineup is red hot on USA.
Returning now to the $100,000 Columbia 300 Open. Yeah, there you see Rick Vitone, who finished 6th in this tournament, just missed the show by missing a spare in the 10th last night, enabling Tom Baker to gain a berth for today's finals. Eddie Doucette along with Joe Berardi. Joe, of course, one of the fine PBA bowlers, and among the top 10 on the money list. And this is Guppy Troop, who has won 3 titles this year, 5 in his career. And he's been around for 8 years. He's going to have to start something right now. That was a great shot by Guppy. It doesn't take too much time. Just gets up there and does the job. We'll see it now. Just fast footwork, little shuffle there. Gets the ball out on the lane, good follow through. Ball doesn't hook that much, but watch it hit. No deflection at all when it gets to the pins. He's kind of like the Julius Boros of bowling. He just gets up there and goes. Not that methodical, just wants to get up there and let it rip. Taking a little bit more time here. Well, he wants this one real bad. It was a better shot. Just a little high, left the 4. He tiptoed right up to the foul line, too. Almost went over. Yeah. Well, you know, the silicone has a tendency to come back, a film on the approach, and sometimes you get a little fast with your feet, and you could foul. You could slip right over the line. I've done it twice this week. I should know. And so the young man who was born in Edinburgh, Scotland, and now lives in Columbia, South Carolina, Guppy Troop, sits down. And he will take an 8-pin lead into the 6th round over Mr. Baker. Here he is. Baker's got his work cut out for him now. He's really got to start making good shots. Guppy seems to have the lanes down to where he wants them. Last 2 balls were perfect. That looks like a good shot right there. Perfect execution by Tom. Seems like he hit that ball just a little harder. Got the ball to work at the back ends a little more. We're going to take a look at this. Watch at the bottom of the swing. He really tries to put some more turn on the ball. Now watch the deflection. No deflection at all. Ball goes straight back, gets a strike, just like out of a textbook. Tom Baker, over $62,000 in career winnings. His lovely wife, Lisa, holding her breath. He could take a 2-pin lead with a double here. Oh, tough split. The same thing before. To see that twice in one game is miraculous. Now watch the replay. It looks like Tom hits the ball harder again, but this lane just refuses to let the ball finish. Now watch the ball deflect right back. The 5 doesn't have enough drive to go into the 7-pin, and the 6 fell in the gutter. Picks up the 10. He leaves the 7. So Baker, now trailing by 20, as Guppy Troop will bowl in the 7th frame. 20-pin lead for 32-year-old Guppy Troop. Guppy made 2 good shots prior to this. Let's see what he's going to do now. He should be wired in. Same thing, 4-pin. Ball hooked a little high at the end, but it was a good shot. You better start talking to those purple socks to see if he can get some action. Well, those are definitely flashy. Something you don't see a lot on TV, purple socks. Guppy, who won his first tournament in 1978. And as mentioned this year, he has won 3 times. Now, if you notice, most of the bowlers on tour, when they go for spares, they go very direct and very hard. They try to eliminate all the error possible. When you use a big hook for spares, there's chances that you could chop them. But the 5 players today, at all their spares, they'll throw the ball straight and hard. And this man does not waste a lot of time going after the spares either. He's 19 pins up and bowling in the 8th. Here's another good shot. Perfect execution and a perfect result. Seems like Guppy's with the pocket at will now. Tommy has got 2 bad breaks in this game. Or else this match would be pretty even. He has to hit these 2 strikes to get back in the game. Needs this double badly. Says he bowls a couple hours a day for practice. That time he sent the ball a little wider, didn't have enough to get back, leaving the 2-4-5-8 the bucket. Well, if Guppy goes on to win here, and maybe a couple of other matches, maybe he'll decide to go to the basic black outfits and discard all those wild-colored pants that he usually is seen in. Well, that's, I don't think that's his style. Like I said, flamboyancy, yes. Right? Perfect spare. Well, Tommy needs a strike here to have any kind of chance. He's got a possible 181 if he strikes out, and Guppy right now is at a 180 pace. Critical first ball. Got to have the strike. And there he is, his opponent who rarely watches the man he's bowling against. Total concentration. That was Guppy Troop. And this is Tom Baker. Tom left 2 7-10s on this lane. I'm anxious to see what he's going to do here. He's got to keep hitting the pocket, but he's got to move over there. That's perfect. That's the one he had to have, Joe. Yeah, Tom looked like he moved over a little bit to the right, and instead of going with the arc on the ball, he went a little straighter and made the ball hit harder at the back end. 19 pins up. Guppy Troop. And it becomes a numbers game now. Well, yes, Guppy, if Guppy should strike here, all he would need in the 10th frame is a spare and a good count to shut Baker out. He'll go up by 29 with a big strike here. Sent it a little wide. Shaking, but it won't fall down. Yeah, the old swishing 7-pin. He threw the ball great again. Just didn't have enough oomph in the back ends. You watch Guppy. Guppy knew he threw it good as soon as he let it go. He's waiting. Talked to it. And then he knew. He saw it, and he just couldn't believe it stood up. There's his pickup. Square no hard at the spare again. Guppy looks like he's in a little pain now at that spare that he just made. He stuck at the foul line, turned his knee. Could have twisted his knee a little bit. He needs a couple of strikes here to shut Baker down. A little help from your friend? Why not? There she is, Dee, his fiancée. A little communication there. Mental telepathy. Set it. That was an absolute perfect shot when he needed it. Guppy has tendency to, when he needs it, he goes right to the mark, throws it right in the pocket. He's a very good pressure player. Now he needs a strike and 2 pins on his field ball to shut Tom out. This is the bad part. Tom's on the bench and there's nothing he could do about it. That's the interesting thing about bowling, unlike so many other sports. There is no defense in bowling. It's all offense. No, it is all offense. Nothing you could do with your opponent. Only thing you'll have to hope for is that you can get 12 strikes. This way you're sure of a tie. Clutch situations. He's performed well in the past, and he did it again today. Nothing Tommy could do about it. Guppy got up like it was nothing. Just threw 2 balls perfect in the pocket. All he needs is 2 pins here. That's in the books. It seems like he just switched balls. He's going to try something on his fill ball. He moved inside. I think he just wanted to get some kind of pin. Got everything but 2 pins. So Guppy will move on. Tom Baker will bowl out. Final score on Guppy Troop, 188. It's a 4-pin. Tom bowled a much better game than his score showed, but again, it's the breaks in bowling. the obstacles that you can't see. John Baker, who won the AMF Grand Prix of bowling in Paris, France in September, and making his third championship round appearance of 82. So the young man whose career began in 1976 from Buffalo, New York, will get one last go at it.
Well, Tommy's a little disappointed with the outcome, but he shouldn't be disappointed with his performance because he hit the pocket well, just he didn't get the breaks, and he'll have to look forward to next week.
Well, he'll end up below his week-long standard of 212.2. He comes up with a 161, so Guppy Troop, 188, 161 a winner, and he will move on to the next round. As we continue, might mention here that Chevrolet will award the use of an S10 truck for 1 year to the bowler who fares the best overall in the 15 PBA tournaments carried by the USA Network. Chevrolet S10. There's never been a truck like it before. Eddie Doucette along with Joe Berardi, and we will continue as we take you around the country on USA, and we will return to the $100,000 Columbia 300 Open after these words on the USA Network.
Only from Chevrolet, only until November 15th on both cars and trucks. Get a round-trip ticket for 2 on Eastern Airlines. Good for a full year when you buy or order one of these new 1982 or 83 Chevrolets by November 15th. Fly across the country to visit relatives or give the round-trip ticket for 2 as a gift. Plus, on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars in financing costs. It's the best time to shop for a Chevy in the past 10 years.
$250,000. The second annual High Roller Tournament is bigger and better than ever. Come to the Showboat Lanes in Las Vegas on July 4th, 1983. Bowl and scratch single match game eliminations. Win 11 games and become $250,000 richer. This year, all PBA members are not eligible. The High Roller Tournament is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress. Cash in more than once from the huge High Roller special prizes. The field is limited, so don't be shut out. Call toll-free 800-257-6179.
USA, the great American network, a 24-hour selection of fresh, exciting, and original programs, around-the-clock entertainment with the best of everything TV has to offer. You'll find high-caliber television drama like the Emmy Award-winning Brideshead Revisited. And USA delivers more Major League sports than anyone, including weekly contests from the high-powered NBA, America's only national coverage of the fast-paced NHL, Friday night boxing, Grand Prix tennis, MISL soccer. Plus in-depth information on today's most pressing issues, helpful hints to enrich your life, rock and roll for the discriminating, award-winning children's programs, and USA celebrates the arts with music and performances you'll never forget. Be a part of the great American network. Come see what TV can really be on the USA Cable Network.
And back at the Sunnybrook Bowl in Sterling Heights for the $100,000 Columbia 300 Open. On your right, Mike Durbin. And on your left, the man that just advanced for the 188, that's Guppy Troop. Before we had an opportunity to watch these fellas compete today, this man, Mike Durbin, was kind enough to spend a little time with us. And, of course, we know Mike, having worked with him on our USA telecast of our PBA tour. And he has some interesting thoughts, some insights. He is a gentleman with a lot of experience, a lot of years.
Here's a fellow that certainly is no stranger to USA cameras, our own Mike Durbin. And, Mike, while I'm sorry you're not going to be with us today, congratulations. I'd like to see you out there bowling and hope that you put on a great show.
Well, thank you, Eddie. You know, I always enjoy doing the telecast, working with you and Alan, but it is nice to be bowling on the show today.
Interesting because you are the only man in the game that has been able to win a tournament with a 3, a 4, and a 5-step approach. You trying anything different today?
No, nothing different. I've been using basically a 4-step delivery for the last 6 years, and that's what I'm going to be using today.
It's been a good week for you, and you bowled very well last night.
Well, I've always seemed to bowl well in this particular bowling center, or at least reasonably well, and I don't mind bowling on the silicone lanes at all. They seem to favor a player like myself that can get the ball down the lane a ways. And I was able to sneak in on the last game last night, so I'm just glad to be here, and hopefully I'll I'll do the best I can today.
While the silicone perhaps favors Mike Durbin, who might it affect adversely of the 5 remaining today?
Well, obviously, I don't think it affected anybody adversely of the 5 remaining today, or they wouldn't be here. And you've got a combination of different shots here. You've got 2 guys in the 1 and 2 positions that hook the ball a lot. You've got myself and Guppy Troop, who don't hook the ball very much, and then Tom Baker's kind of in between. So you've got a variety of different shots on the show, and a pretty good tournament.
The Young Turks, and there are a lot of them here today against Mike Durbin. You've been around. Experience, will it help?
Experience always helps, Eddie. I've been through it before, but every one of these guys here is experienced too, even though some of them may be very young. They've been on a number of telecasts, and they've got the experience also.
You've won a number of tour titles. It would be nice to pick up number 12.
I'm looking forward to it, yes.
Mike Durbin has been with us, and of course you see Mike on our USA bowling telecast, and we wish him nothing but the best of luck.
Thanks very much, Eddie.
Mike Durbin, who averaged 216.8 for the week, and whose average for the season, 211.6. There's the handshake, and it's Guppy Troop versus Mike Durbin.
Well, we'll see what happens now. Guppy finished out the last game, hitting the pocket excessively the last 6 frames. He seems to be lined in pretty well now, so Mike's going to have to bowl a lot better than Tom Baker did to win. Slaps the 5-7 right off the wall. I think he's got it going now, Ed.
Now that'll give Mike Durbin something to think about. The 41-year-old from Chagrin Falls, Ohio, who is the oldest of the competition here today, will step up, and with him, $90,155 in prize winnings this year. He's 4th on the money list. Coming right back.
I call him Mr. Versatility. He can absolutely do anything on a bowling lane to a bowling ball he wants. Now you look at Mike's approach here. It's just right out of a textbook. The 4-step approach, good push away, good extension, level arm swing, great knee bend at the foul line. Look at that follow through. Hand up in the air, and the end result, of course, was a strike.
And a clutch bowler, too. Championship round record since November of '79. 19-3. 5-2 this year, and he's got a 226-plus average in this round.
And there he is again. Mike looks like the best pick today. Same shot as before. Gets the ball out over the lane a little more, trying to compensate for the back ends, and it gets a strike like it was not even there.
Guppy trailing by 10 here in the second. 1 strike working. Make it 2.
Well, Guppy's not going down easy. You know, Guppy has a very good habit. He bowls quite a bit of big games, 270s through 80s. He's got the most 300s on tour for 1 year, which is 6. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of these 2 players did happen to roll a 300 today.
15 career 300 games for Guppy. And irony? You bet. Tell you about it in a moment.
Well, my prediction looks like it's going to come true with these high scores, Ed.
The irony I mentioned, Guppy Troop wants to be a man that'll win the Firestone Tournament of Champions as we look at the replay here.
Fast shuffle, good trajectory out on the lanes, and watch the ball hit. 6-pin just slaps the 10 out, and he gets in a triple.
And this man has won the Firestone twice. So one wants to win it, and one has won it twice. What a feat.
Another good ball, a little outside. Just looked like he got a little fast that time. Let the ball go out a little further than normal, resulting in a light hit for the 2-pin. Here's Debbie, patiently watching, knowing that her husband is going to go out and do the best he can, as usual, which is usually very good. Takes a spare for Mike. Mike's a very good spare shooter, although I don't know if I should say that, Ed, because the last time I did the telecast, Mike had missed like 3 or 4 spares when I said that.
His 5th championship round appearance of 1982. And take a look at this grip.
Well, he puts his fingers in, sets up, just gets that thumb in real snug. You have to have a good feel on the ball in order to make proper execution. You have to feel confident. Gets the ball way out on the lane again. Little hook at the back end. Nice light hit for a strike.
Mike has had a good week. His best game so far, 279. And as I mentioned, his average coming in 216 plus.
Well, Mike's a very consistent player. Won't have a lot of very, very big games, but he won't have very many bad games either.
There's Guppy. 4 strikes in a row for Guppy Troop. He's hot.
Well, like you said before, if he wins today, he might stay in basic black.
Not a bad idea.
Well, it looks like he speeded up just a little bit. He wants to make sure of this shot because it gets him ahead a little more. Ball doesn't finish quite as hard, but again, he's got the advantage of going straight. It's got a little wall shot for a strike.
He's won the Northern Ohio, the Miller High Life, the Molson, and looking to make this his 4th of the year to become the first on the tour to do so in '82. $100,000 Columbia 300 Open. And the first prize is 13 big ones. Guppy Troop.
Looking to make it 5 in a row here. That is good lane.
He does. And he leads by 31. 31 up. Guppy Troop.
Just hasn't changed a thing. Gets up there pretty quick, hits his mark, watches the ball go into the pocket, and he's still perfect through 5 frames.
And he will go to his concentration now, and we will take a break. And when we return, we will have more with Guppy Troop and Mike Durbin here in Sterling Heights, Michigan on the USA Network.
How would you like a new home at the same address? Well, now you don't need to take drastic action.
Because you can get your house just the way you want it.
With the Down to Brass Tacks Home magazine, Homeowners How To.
It can tell you how to turn your kitchen from almost to perfect.
How to heat your home without getting burned.
How to remodel your bath without having to take one. You want to make it yourself?
Get How To on patios, cabinets, storage shelves.
You want to fix it?
Check How To on wiring, plumbing, and washing machine. With Homeowners How To, you'll learn How To on installation, fireplaces, landscaping, skylights, family rooms, even specs for decks. With Homeowners How To, you save time, you save money, and you add thousands to the value of your home.
Because you'll get step-by-step instructions on everything you'll need to know, whether you're doing it yourself or hiring a contractor.
With Homeowners How To, you'll learn how to get more room from the room you have and how to cut the cost of adding on. Homeowners How To makes it easy with photos, diagrams, plans to guide you every step of the way.
And in each issue, you'll find valuable clip and save pages, so you can build a complete home how-to library for easy reference.
And if you subscribe now, you'll even receive this free gift. Call 1-800-345-8505.
And you'll get help. The Homeowner's Easy Living Planner, absolutely free.
Help gives you answers to the most asked household questions.
Like how to keep the heat you buy.
How to correct landscaping mistakes.
Even how to house train a wet basement.
Plus help with dozens of other ideas for a more beautiful, enjoyable home. Call 1-800-345-8505 toll free now, and you'll receive 9 issues of Homeowners How To for just $9.97. Plus help absolutely free with your paid subscription. Call 1-800-345-8505. It would take a lifetime to gain the practical time and money-saving know-how that fills Homeowners How To.
But you can get it now with 1 toll-free call. Call now for your free gift and...
Homeowners How To. It's the best little investment you can make in your home. So call 1-800-345-8505 toll-free now.
And welcome back. And Mike Durbin is wondering what he has to do to try and forge a lead. He has 3 strikes in his spare, and he trails by 31 pins to Guppy Troop here in the 5th frame.
This is a key shot from Mike. He went light the last time on this lane. Imagine he's going to try and go a little more direct. Mike looks like he got a little quick with his feet, and again, did not throw the ball too well on the lane.
A 1-2 lead.
Well, it's an easy spare, but the thing is, he needed the strike to cut the deficit he has. He's still down 31 pins, and getting up now, if Guppy does strike in the 6th and 7th, he will go to minus 51, which is, it's not out of the wood, as we call it, but it's almost an insurmountable lead.
Mike with a family of 3, and there are a couple of them.
Matt and Christine, I think. They're avid rooters. Matthew's always watching his dad ball. Mike definitely needs this strike to stay in the game. This is the lane he has been hitting. Gets the ball way out on the line. Got a good break out of that. Broke down the 2-4-5 and just left the 2-pin. You can watch here how far Mike gets the ball out on the lane. Way over the foul line, a couple of feet. ball just doesn't have enough in the back to make it advance to the pocket.
He's won the Firestone and the Tucson Open this year.
Well, makes a spare, no trouble at all. But in this situation, he doesn't need spares, he needs a number of strikes. Guppy here can go up 42 pins with a strike.
A master of his own destiny. Guppy Troop.
He got that ball out perfect.
Whoa, is he smoking now?
There was nothing to that.
I mention right here that there is a $5,000 prize for a $300 game. $5,000 prize for a 300 game. Could this be one?
You watch the confidence of Guppy, and it just shows in his game now. He's just hitting the pocket at will. This is what he's been doing all week. Keeps this up, and he can win from third, fourth, or fifth position.
Whoa! He's rolling now.
And he looked a little worried about that one when he let it go, but...
So he left the loud pants at home, but he brought the bowling game with him.
But that ball, it looked like he pulled a little, but it went straight and rolled right into the pocket, and it's just like the other one's perfect.
Mike Durbin.
Mike takes advantage of the light hit now. Mike has to keep striking. Mike cannot afford to leave anything up in this situation. He's down too many pins, and Guppy looks like he's got the pair absolutely wired.
52 pins behind right here in the 8th. Mike Durbin.
Well, that's a large deficit, Ed. But if anyone can make it up, Mike Durbin can. He's really taking his time here. He doesn't want to make any mistakes.
Leads this one back.
This gets out.
Still lean, but he's hanging on. And the 15-year veteran now, trailing by 42 pins. As Guppy will roll in the 8th.
Guppy, no time at all. Gets up, gets set, looks at his mark, and on he goes.
Mike looking away.
And there's a bad break. It's similar to the swishing 7-10s Tommy had, but it was just a high hit. Could have got out of it with 9. Gets the ball down a little short. Doesn't get that long extension like he has been, and leaves a 4-9.
Can't get it.
He gets one.
Well, this changes the complexion a little bit. He now has 206 through the 8th.
See, this puts Mike in a very good position now because Guppy is at a 246 pace. Mike can strike out for 248.
Guppy up by 28 pins right here.
Pulled another one. Well, it looks like his quickness is getting him into a little trouble. You know, sometimes when you get 7 or 8 in a row, tendency to take it for granted. You still have to think on every shot. Watch him set the ball down short and pull it. Just pull it enough to get the ball high and leave the 4-7.
Well, Mike Durbin still has an opening. Spare mark in the 9th. And now Mike Durbin going to his 9th, trailing by 28 pins. But there's a little bit of an opening. And let's see what he can do.
He's still in the position where he cannot afford to miss. He has to strike every time up.
Guppy talking to the towel and himself.
Mike, like the true champion he is, comes back with the strikes he needs.
We could have a shoehorn finish.
This is absolutely perfectly clean. Just came, followed through perfect. Watch the ball hit. Just boom. All of a sudden he cuts the lead to 18 pins. He's in a situation here where if he doubles, he forces Troop to double to win the game. Bad shot. He pulled the ball, got right to the bottom of the sink.
Mike is complaining about the TV camera moving just a little as we look at it again.
He got the ball through all over the lane, but
in the bottom of the swing, he just pulled it enough to go right into the head pin. He'll shoot the spare with a different ball that goes straighter. Makes a routine, but he needed strikes there. Like you said, it's all offense, and Guppy needs just a count on his first ball in the 10th to win the match. So, Mike Durbin finishes with a 224. Guppy right now is taking a look at the score, just trying to make sure he knows what he needs. It's just a matter of 4 pins to tie, 5 pins to win on the first ball. Just a mark. He's got enough now. Without making the spare, Guppy's got 234 to Mike Durbin's 224. So Guppy will go on to meet Wayne Webb. We get down to the final 3 now. Guppy Troop will be among them. So an 8-year vet will beat a 15-year vet. Well, Ed, looks like his conservative attire is getting him through the first 2 matches. He has nothing to mark about now, does he? Oh, no, by no means. 245 final for Guppy Troop to 224 for Mike Durbin. And so Guppy Troop will move on, and Wayne Webb is just around the corner. We'll take a break. We will return with more in our $100,000 Columbia 300 Open, and we'll have that for you right after this.
In the last known photograph of the Dalton gang, Bob and Grat Dalton are both wearing Levi's original blue jeans. They probably never gave their choice a lot of thought, and 100 years later, Levi's jeans still give you a lot not to think about. Workmanship that'll never let you down. Comfort you know you can count on, and style that fits in without question. Levi's jeans. The more you think about them, the more you realize you don't have to.
The legend lives on. About face! Suck it in, Shorty! Yes, sir! What's that? Yes, sir! Smash!
If you've got the guts, we've got the game. Chopper Command by Activision for the Atari Video Computer System.
Command firing! Give it to him! Look out! Attack! Watch your radar! Retreat! Oh! You men got the guts! Yes, sir! Well, get your own game. Chopper Command by Activision. Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours, and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. You've got the time, we've got the beer, for what you have in mind. Welcome to Miller Time, yours and mine.
The best beer for the best time of the day, Miller High Life.
Watch the USA Cable Network Sunday and be part of college football excitement as the Purdue Boilermakers battle the Wolverines from Michigan. Then get ready for our scoring show with the great Gretzky as the Edmonton Oilers take on the New York Rangers. Next, USA's English channel hops down under for a look at Kangaroos. And then USA serves up the semifinals of the Benson & Hedges Championships from London. It all starts at 5 p.m. Eastern on USA Sunday.
From the Sunnybrook Lanes in Sterling Heights, Michigan, the $100,000 Columbia 300 Open. And here's the way the 6th through 24 finishers ended this week.
Well, in 6th place, we had Rick Fatone, who just missed with an open in the 10th frame. 7th, Gary Skidmore. 8th place was Don Janello. 9th was Henry Gonzalez. 10 was Tom Robards. 11th, I snuck in there for 2,200. No, I hope my wife doesn't see it. The 12th was Ray Shackelford. 13th was Chuck Pierce from Dallas for $2,000. Last week's champion, Steve Ferrer, was in 14th. Randy Pierce, a local favorite from Canton, Michigan. 16th was Gary Dickinson. 17th, George Pappas, the president of the PBA. 18th, Warren Nelson, who made a 7-10 split this week and had the only 300. 19th was Alan Granite. 20th, Roy Buckley. 21st, Steve Preston. 22nd, Kenny Hall from Latham, New York. 23rd, John Wilcox. And rounding out the top 24 were Mike Albee for $1,100.
And moving along as far as the prize money breakdown is concerned, we might remind you again that the first prize finisher makes $13,000. The second place finisher, $7,500.
Third place will receive $5,500. Fourth, $4,500.
And the number 5 man will win $4,000, so a good payday. A couple of other tournament notes for you. The leaders by round. The first round leader was Rick Fatone. He also led after the second round.
The third round was taken by Don Janello, and then after the first session of match play, Guppy Troop taking over the lead.
And then the fifth and sixth round leaders, Pete Weber, and he's really having a good week. Right now, we're going to take a break and go to our own Mike Durbin, who's got his special bowling tip of the week for our USA audience.
Today's tip, we're going to talk about something that's probably happened at one time or another in our bowling careers to each and every one of us. I'm going to throw a shot right now, and you see if this hasn't happened to you at your favorite bowling center, or more probably at a new center that you just went into. Well, in case you couldn't tell, I stuck at the foul line. And the question naturally arises, what can we do about sticky approaches? Well, I think there are 3 basic things that we can try and do to overcome sticky approaches. But before I get to them, I want to show you a pair of normal bowling shoes that are used on the PBA Tour. These are shoes for a right-handed player. And you can see that the right foot here, the sole is rubber. The reason that it's rubber is it acts as a braking action for me. In the next to last step that I take, I want to make sure that my foot is not slipping out from underneath me. That's the reason for the right sole being rubber. The left foot is different. The heel is still rubber, but the sole, or the ball of the foot, is now leather. The reason for this is that the leather enables me to slide smoothly as I let the ball go. The question arises is what happens when the leather doesn't work and I still stick? Well, there are a few remedies we can try. The first of all is simply ashes from your cigarette if you're a smoker, or if you're not a smoker, simply from the ashtray. Just put them down on the floor, rub your foot in there real well, work it into the ball of the foot, and hopefully the ashes will enable you to overcome the stickiness of the approach. If that doesn't work, you might go to the counter, and usually they should have a little thing here called slipstick. It's just a wax stick. You put it on the sole of the shoe in an S-like fashion, and again, work it into the sole of the foot so that you can hopefully overcome the stickiness again. One word of caution right now is never, and I repeat, never use talcum powder. Powder is a dangerous substance to try and overcome sticky approaches with, the reason being that people can slip on it and hurt themselves badly. The last remedy, you might want to have a pair of special bowling shoes like I have right here. So I take the shoe off. You can see that the bottom of it has 4 separate discs. These discs are made out of different materials to help me overcome different kinds of approaches, whether they're slippery or whether they're sticky. In this case, I ran into a sticky approach. So what I want to do is remove one of these discs. Now the bottom is Velcro, and it's Velcro in the shoe so they stick. And I want to replace it with another disc. The one I'm going to replace it with is Teflon coated. Now we all know Teflon is a slippery substance. It enables me, hopefully, to slide better. I'll put the shoe back on, and we'll throw another shot and see if I can slide. Here we go. Line myself upright. And you can see that I slid perfectly that time. Now for me or any other pro bowler, or for any of you out there, to perform properly, we have to have our feet underneath of us. I can't be slipping and I can't be sticking. These are just some of the remedies that you might try to overcome difficult approaches. We'll see you next week.
From the Sunnybrook Lanes in Sterling Heights, Michigan, let's take a look at the PBA money standings. And right up there at the top of the list, Earl Anthony of Dublin, California, with $133,075 in change. Dave Husted of Milwaukee, Oregon is in second place, $96,000 in change.
Third place is Art Trask, a three-time winner on our tour this year with $90,000. Fourth place is the Firestone Tournament of Champions winner, Mike Durbin.
Number 5 is Ted Hanners of Zanesville, Ohio, at just under $90,000. Guppy Troop, who's working here today at $82,000, is number 6.
Seventh place is our tournament leader, Pete Weber from St. Louis, with $81,000. Joe Berardi, who I'm glad to see is in the top 10, is in 8th place.
There you are again. Number 9, Wayne Webb of Indianapolis at $76,000. And Steve Cook is number 10. He is at $69,915. The PBA average standings, and this, of course, would require a minimum of 400 games, and is updated after our tour stop in Indianapolis a week ago.
Yes, leading the tour averages of Marshall Holman at 216.3. Earl Anthony is right behind him at 215.9. Dave Husted, 213.8. Wayne Webb, 213.6. Mark Roth is at 213.5. Mike Albee, 213.4. Steve Westberg is up there this year, 212.8. Charlie Tapp at 212. Pete Couture at 212. And Tom Baker at 212.
And one of the interesting individuals on the tour is a gentleman I had an opportunity to speak to a little bit ago. Let's go to that right now.
This isn't Johnny Cash. This isn't Gary Player. Take a good look because it's Guppy Troop. What are you doing to our audience? They're expecting those wild pants, and look what you come in with, basic black.
Well, last night I had a little troubles hanging on to the lead. I dropped to 4th and came in last night, and I just figured I've never worn black on black before. The guy that beat me in my own regional in Jacksonville wore black on black, shot 300 on the show at me. So I figured I'm going to give it a try this week. But like I tell, I'm going to raise my pant legs, and everybody look at my socks because they are purple.
He's done it again, folks. Guppy, you have an outstanding opportunity with a win to become the bowler of the year. I'm sure that's something in your mind.
Oh, yeah. When I came out, I just wanted to bowl good this year, and then all of a sudden, I've won 3. I've made, 7 shows, and bowler of the year never really came into mind until I won Cleveland 2 weeks ago. And then, Earl's sitting at 3, Art's sitting at 3, I'm sitting at 3. If I can get this 4th one, that puts me to 95,000 and 1 title ahead of everybody. So it might be a chance. I might be able to get it if I win this week.
Is the Firestone Tournament of Champions still a goal?
Oh, yeah. Everybody wants to win the Firestone. I mean, I like winning titles. I don't care where it is. The Firestone especially, I think everybody wants to win it. Mike's won it twice. I haven't won it at all. So, win Bowler of the Year this year and then maybe try to win the Firestone during the winter.
And we'd like to remind you that Chevrolet will award the use of an S10 truck for 1 year to the bowler who fares the best overall in the 15 PBA tournaments carried by the USA Network. Chevrolet S10. There's never been a truck like it before. Now let's take a look at that point standing. Chevrolet point standing, and they're happy to announce that this is, of course, through the Northern Ohio Open, that Dave Husted is still in that number 1 position at over 12,000 points. Guppy Troop, though, not that far behind, number 2.
Well, Wayne Webb can close the gap here with a win today with 11,498 points. Last week's champion, Steve Fair, with 10,921 points.
Ted Hanners is number 5 at over 9,000 points, and Randy Lightfoot is in 6th position, 8,652.
Steve Martin is at 8,496 points, and Pete Couture is right behind him with 8,232 points.
And rounding out the top 10, Mark Roth, number 9, and Jeff Bellinger is number 10. So that'll bring you up to date as to where the USA Chevrolet point list is, and we'll have an update for you, hopefully by our tour stop in Syracuse. We'll take a break now. We'll be back with more USA PBA bowling. We'll do that right after this on the USA Network.
Only from Chevrolet. Only until November 15th on both cars and trucks. Get a round-trip ticket for 2 on Eastern Airlines. Good for a full year. When you buy or order one of these new 1982 or 83 Chevrolets by November 15th. Fly across the country to visit relatives. Or give the round-trip ticket for 2 as a gift. Plus, on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars in financing costs. It's the best time to shop for a Chevy in the past.
Good bowlers rely on feel, and once a ball doesn't feel right to you, you have to get rid of it, or else it can cost you a couple of weeks on tour. As I was saying this, Guppy just made a very bad shot, 2 in a row, in fact, and it's unlike him to bowl one good game, such as the 240 game he had prior to this one, and then start off the next match with 18 in the second, not even coming close to the pocket. I think he's just going to have to take his time and regroup now.
And taking his time might be an important thought because he went after the spare before the pin setter was even back up. There's Guppy Troop.
Not sure he cups his wrist a little bit. Like all the bowlers who cut their wrist turn the ball out, but he breaks it at the downswing. Makes the ball go longer. Now he looks like he's back on track. Took his time there. Decided to, I guess he just decided to give Wayne a little advantage early.
Webb, third frame, 22 pins up.
And watch Wayne. Holds the ball low, gets the ball far out on the lane. Turns the ball off the hook.
He's strong.
Well, he's got the one thing that Guppy doesn't have. He can make the ball hit on the back ends with his wrists. He can make the ball turn. Watch his wrist. He just turns the cover off the ball. And watch the ball finish. No deflection at all. The ball even goes to the left in the pit. Last time on this lane, the ball deflected enough for him to leave the 10, but I imagine he's going to try and hit it a little harder to get the ball to finish like it did on the right lane. There it is. Perfect.
Well, he's stroking now. Wayne Webb, who says he wants to be the bowler of the decade. And he is bowling like it right now.
Watch his wrist at the bottom of the swing. What power he has. Amazing how he can make the ball hit that hard. He told me before the show he wants to make 100,000 this year, so he's got to start winning today.
That'd be the 4th year in a row. Troop down by 32. Trying to find a way to pair a few pins off that lead by Wayne Webb.
That ball was a little better than the one he had before. He's just really gonna have to take his time on every shot now, because once Wayne gets lined in, there's no telling how many strikes he could throw.
He could come within 12 with a strike, and Dee knows it. That is Guppy's fiance.
She looks a little worried here.
Perfect. Well, he's almost saying, why didn't I have that before? Where were you? Nice to have you back, but...
You watch Guppy here. Guppy knows what he has to do. Goes out there and does it well. Turns his foot at the bottom of the slide. He says to himself, where was I the first 2 frames? I think he got temporary amnesia.
And we'll see if he can wake up in time to bring himself back. And we'll find that out when we return to the Sunnybrook Bowl here in Sterling Heights, Michigan, and our $100,000 Columbia 300 Open after this on the USA Network.
Here's too good.
Hey, how you doing?
Tonight.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, what's up, the view?
Oh, I thought it was about time I paid you back.
Must say so. Paid us back.
Pay us back? For what? Last Sunday when the Palmers dropped in, you loaned me some beer.
Well, Jim, that was beer. This is Lowenbrow.
Well, let's call it interest.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
You know, Jim, I've been thinking. Maybe you ought to borrow things more often. Let it be Lowenbrow.
Only from Chevrolet. Only until November 15th on both cars and trucks. Get a round-trip ticket for 2 on Eastern Airlines. Good for a full year. When you buy or order one of these new 1982 or 83 Chevrolets by November 15th. Fly across the country to visit relatives. Or give the round-trip ticket for 2 as a gift. Plus, on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars in financing costs. It's the best time to shop for a Chevy in the past 10 years.
Make way for the Great Gretzky. This Sunday on a special edition of USA's exclusive national coverage of the NHL, scoring sensation Wayne Gretzky leads the powerful Edmonton Oilers into Madison Square Garden. They'll battle the volatile New York Rangers, a club that possesses awesome talent and is on the verge of putting it all together. Check into USA's special edition NHL, live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Our coverage will not be seen in some areas.
Last year in the final, Connors defeated McEnroe in a thriller. This year will be just as memorable as John McEnroe returns to do battle in the Benson and Hedges Championships. The top-ranked field includes sensational Swede Mats Wilander and the mighty Roscoe Tanner. USA takes you to London's Wembley Arena Sunday at 12:30 a.m. Eastern for semifinal action. And you'll see the finals Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. The Benson and Hedges Championships on USA, Sunday and Monday.
And welcome back to the Columbia Open here in Sterling Heights, Michigan, just outside of Detroit. Wayne Webb with a 12-pin lead, bowling in the 5th. If he strikes here, He'll take a 22-pin lead. A grip that's very interesting. Look at how he just kind of lays it down there.
Holds the ball with one hand, gets a little more momentum that way. Another perfect execution by Wayne Webb. This is getting second nature to him to come out and perform this well on television. Watch it now. Hit that bottom of the swing and turn it for all it's worth. Hits the third arrow, goes out to pass the second arrow, comes back right in the pocket.
In 1980, he was the PBA Player of the Year. He led the tour in titles, earnings, points, and games bowled.
This is the lane he's having a little trouble with. Oh, what a break that was. That was a good mistake, as you can call it. I mean, if you're going to pull the ball like Wayne did, pull it enough so you get to the Brooklyn side of the head pin and you get a strike.
He just bought the bridge on that one.
Yeah, well, he's a little embarrassed, and he knows what he did wrong. I think he'll correct it.
32 pins down. Guppy Troop.
That's a bad break for Guppy. Boy, he threw that ball so well, and that's the turns of these games. Wayne made a terrible mistake and got maximum out of it, and Guppy made a great shot and got 9 pins. Well, it puts Guppy with the spare down 33 pins. Going into the 7th frame, and he still has to charge like he did before and just keep getting a lot of strikes because Wayne seems to be locked in pretty well.
I love a man who's wrapped up in his work. I don't think there's any question about Guppy Troop. We asked him what his hobbies are, and he said bowling. I guess that pretty well says it all.
That's right.
Practices between 100 and 150 games a year.
Guppy just called for a re-rack on the lane. He didn't like a pin setup, and our tournament director, Harry Golden, would grant him 1 re-rack per game. And that lane everybody's having a little trouble with. Just doesn't finish as much as the right-hand lane, and it always results in like a flat 10.
And he goes to the other ball to pick up the spare.
Well, throws the other ball a little straighter than the one he's using on his first ball, and it eliminates all that room for error.
34 pins behind Guppy Troop, trailing this man, Wayne Webb.
Wayne's looking to make it 44 pins coming to his good lane, the one he's got a lot of confidence in. This is a lane that finishes a little bit more. Oh, he sent that ball out way right. That was a correction from the frame before. Once you pull the ball, you have a tendency to make sure you get the ball to the right of the lane.
I don't know that he's real happy with this. Let's see.
Well, it looks right there. He knows he didn't make a good shot, and he's trying to get the ball to go to the right with his hand so he doesn't leave the washout with a 1, 2, 8, 10. This is an easier spare. He realized he made a couple of mistakes. And he just made another one but got away with it. So far, the breaks have been going well for Wayne Webb this game.
You know, it's interesting because if you look at their TV pair bowling this week, Guppy ends up with a 209, and Mr. Webb ends up with a 232. So you have a little contrast there.
Well, yes, you know, like I feel that average really doesn't mean that much because from day to day it changes so much. It fluctuates. Look at Guppy now. Guppy's got his head down trying to make good shots even while he's sitting there.
So the pensiveness of Guppy Troop does not help on that one. As Mr. Webb continues to knock him down and now leads Guppy Troop by 31 here in the 8th.
Guppy knows he's got his work cut out. Takes a quick look at the score, gets up on the lane, gets set, and goes. Oh, slipped a little at the foul line, but fortunately he got rid of the ball first. See, those fast feet give you so much momentum. With the silicone, you have a tendency to slip a little bit.
Slipping and sliding here in the Sterling Heights.
Slips, rears up, falls off to the side. But like I said, he got the ball off first before anything happened, and it was a good shot.
Strike pulls him back to within 21. Not quite.
There's that weak 10 again. That lane just refuses to finish. Looks like you have to go a little more direct and make the ball hit in the back ends like Wayne has been doing. It's a routine spare for Guppy.
Guppy with 3 tour wins this year. Wayne Webb with 9 PBA titles at age 25. Good young man, good career ahead.
Well, Wayne just looked like he got up and wanted to get rid of the ball real fast, because that's exactly what he did. He didn't take any time at all. Looks like he didn't even concentrate, just wanted to get up and hit his mark, but he went so quick that he couldn't. It's the second time he's done that at that lane. And that can have a tendency to have a little psychological dealing with you, because you feel you're making bad shots on the lane. You start to get hesitant about bowling on it.
So there he is, the man that's wrapped in green, Wayne Webb, favorite color. You usually see him right in there.
He needs 5 pins on his first ball to close out Troop.
He leads by 31 right now as he goes to the final frame.
Well, this is the one he's got all that confidence on. Another flat 10. Well, he's going to have to do something with that lane, because he can't keep getting 9, especially bowling against Pete Weber, who can actually this week strike at will. Whoever Will is.
Very good. Young Joe Berardi from Brooklyn, New York, with his expertise. Now Webb will move on, and Guppy will have a chance to bowl it out here in the 10th, but very doubtful.
I wonder if this means that Guppy's going to retire his black outfit.
Well, he did pretty well with it, really.
Oh, he bowled great today. He's got nothing to be ashamed of. He executed beautifully. Just that Wayne got a couple of breaks and Guppy didn't.
Guppy with a sluggish start here in this third match, but he had a 188 and a 245 to get here.
It seems like it always happens. When you don't really need it, they always fall down.
Webb is in with a 226.
Well, Guppy's just finishing out his game routinely. Knows he's lost, but like I said, he's got nothing to be ashamed of. They bowled great all day.
So the 165-pounder from Columbia, South Carolina, whose nickname is the one he uses, Guppy. Got that when he was bowling with a junior league team. And the name of the team was the Guppies. They won the state championship. He's kept it ever since.
Well, Guppy finished with a 204 to Wayne Webb's 226. So that means Webb will go on to meet Pete Weber for the title.
And it should be an interesting one. You got 2 young power bowlers. And we will have our final round coming up here in our championship of our $100,000 Columbia 300 Open from Sterling Heights, Michigan, when we return on the USA Cable Network.
Only from Chevrolet. Only until November 15th on both cars and trucks. Get a round-trip ticket for 2 on Eastern Airlines. Good for a full year. When you buy or order one of these new 1982 or 83 Chevrolets by November 15th. Fly across the country to visit relatives. Or give the round-trip ticket for 2 as a gift. Plus, on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars in financing costs. It's the best time to shop for a Chevy in the past 10 years.
$250,000. The second annual High Roller Tournament is bigger and better than ever. Come to the Showboat Lanes in Las Vegas on July 4th, 1983. Bowl and scratch single match game eliminations. Win 11 games and become $250,000 richer. This year, all PBA members are not eligible. The High Roller Tournament is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress. Cash in more than once from the huge High Roller special prizes. The field is limited, so don't be shut out. Call toll-free 800-257-6179.
Keep your eye on USA this November. There's a lot to be thankful for as we fill your week with an action-packed sports lineup. Sundays and Mondays, you'll continue to thrill to USA's electrifying College Football 82. And keep checking with USA Tuesday nights this month for more of our exclusive national coverage of the Fast and Furious NHL. There's plenty of excitement afoot Wednesday nights on USA with the beginning of another explosive season of the Wild and Woolly Major Indoor Soccer League. Then fly with a bird and catch the magic as we tip off a brand new spectacular season of USA's Thursday night NBA. And every Friday night, we'll keep hitting you with our best shot on USA's Friday Night Boxing. Plus, starting November 26th, you'll share the dramatic ups and downs of college basketball as USA premieres an extensive schedule, including 3 games a week from the powerful Big East. It might be getting cold outside, but the sports lineup is red hot on USA.
Well, it comes down to our finals with the 2 young men that finished up 1 and 2 to get here. Wayne Webb on the left, Pete Weber on the right, both about the same size, although Webb a little shorter. Wayne is about 145 pounds worth, Pete about 140. Pete just a little bit taller at 5'7", and the son of Dick Weber, and has had a sensational week to say the least. Bowling here at the Sunnybrook Bowl in Sterling Heights, Michigan. In the event you just joined, we'll tell you again that USA is here for the $100,000 Columbia 300 Open. And this young man, Pete Weber, has averaged .225.4 this week. Let's meet Pete Weber, close up and personal, right now.
A visit with sensational young Pete Weber. That's a very famous name. Father Dick, great bowler, bowled in 4 decades now, and I think it's fair to say sensational and also young. 20 years old, and you've just accomplished some tremendous things. You realize how fortunate you are to be where you are at this tender age?
Oh, yeah, I do know how fortunate I am, but ever since I was 12 years old, I've been expecting it.
I think it's important that we mention 1 or 2 of the highlights. The first time out as an ABC member, you bowled a 300 game. That's not bad coming right out of the chute.
I wasn't complaining in any. I threw 12 good shots, so I did it.
Dad, a tremendous bowler. Obviously, he's had a little bit of an influence on your career. How about at this stage of the game? Do you still call Dad and say, hey, having a little bit of a problem. Can you help me out?
Not so much now as I did when I was younger. He taught me how to bowl, and when I got into trouble, I went to him. And as I got older, my oldest brother, Rich, knew how to straighten me out a little bit more.
Let's talk a little bit about this week, because it's been a great week. You've been executing very well. In fact, I watched you last night, and I was particularly impressed the way you throw it way out to the right and bring that ball back in, and you're knocking them down in big fashion.
Well, this week, more than other weeks, it's more or less it's an outside shot, and I like to play outside on the lane. But this week, the back ends are really hooking a lot. So that's why my ball, when it hits the one board, it can finish.
How significant is the fact that you've had a 247 in the TV pairs?
It's just, I guess, on this pair, I've been bowling better on this pair than I have on other pairs. I get a little bit more carry on this pair, and I expect to win.
Out here, you've jumped into life in a hurry. Married, have a youngster, making good money. The world is just kind of a large oyster for Pete Weber.
I'm not complaining any. Dee Dee's been one of my main factors out here. She always tries to keep me under control. Sometimes I don't like it, but most of the time I do.
Well, control yourself today, because we're looking forward to seeing you work. Pete Weber here in Detroit.
There he is, the man we just talked to. Pete Weber, 20 years old, and Wayne Webb, 25. Couple of kids. Joe, have you been able to withstand the charge of this youth out there on the tour? They just keep coming, don't they?
Well, Pete's amazing. Pete can do more with the bowling ball. He gets the maximum out of the bowling ball. You cannot turn a ball any more than Pete Weber. You watch the arc of this boy's ball, and it's incredible. Very hard line he's playing. He's got to get the ball out to the first board on the lane. And let it hook back just like that. That's a bad break for Pete. You watch Pete's approach here. Push away is fine, and he goes into a very high backswing. Now watch the cupped wrist. He'll cup the wrist right there and then hit it as hard as he can. Great knee bend, stayed down real well with that shot.
And so Pete Weber, who bowled 4 300 games in his first 20 in organized bowling, will not have one here today. And he will see what he can do to handle the likes of Wayne Webb, powerful right-hander.
Wayne really thinks he's lined in now. He's got a lot of confidence on his pair. He wants to win this title real bad. He's what we call very pumped up right now.
And
Watch Wayne. Wayne's playing inside as opposed to Pete's outside, and Wayne's trying to get maximum hit out of the ball from the inside line, which is exactly what happens here. He gets a little break and makes the 7th pin fall just on cue.
He won the Waukegan Open this year.
This is the lane he couldn't make the ball finish on, but at that time he made the adjustment and it was perfect.
Third start for the young man that has almost $77,000 in prize winnings.
Watch him make the ball hit at the back ends here. He puts maximum turn on the ball, and the end result, the ball has no deflection at all, gets a strike. We're watching probably two of the biggest turners on tour right now. I cannot think of anybody who can score as well and turn the ball as much as these two players. That time, Pete eliminated the 10-pin, just hit it a little lighter and let the ball do all the work. The 6-pin just slapped the 10-pin right off the lane.
He flirts with the channel every time.
If Pete makes a mistake, it's in the channel. There are no two ways about it.
Match will be even with a strike by Weber, and that's his wife, Dee Dee, and she'd love to see one of those.
Well, Pete left a solid 10 here before. He can't change a thing because that's just the perfect hit. Look at his grip, how he holds the ball in the right palm of his hand. Just a maximum turn. Ball goes all the way out to the first board, comes back. It's amazing that you can have so much control with such a big hook.
What amazes me is that at age 20, he has so much poise, so much savoir-faire, if you will.
Well, I think it's in his bloodline also a little bit, come from his dad.
Dick Weber, bowled in 4 decades.
Wayne knows he's got his work cut out. Sends the ball real wide that time, and all of a sudden it came back. He didn't expect it, and he got a good break. Got a wall shot, carried it. Now he knows he has to make a good shot because Pete Weber will not let up, and this game is all offense.
Wayne Webb versus Pete Weber, and he leads by 10. Can move up 20 with a strike.
Needs this one here, taking a little extra time on the approach. Really turn the ball.
Oh. Well, both these kids have so much on it, Joe.
They're amazing. They do get maximum hit out of the ball. You watch Wayne here. Wayne knows it looks good. He's just waiting for it to hit and knock everything down. It's par.
Looked like a man that was just about to win the lottery. Waiting for the phone call.
Pete needs this one to stay within 10 pins of Wayne Webb. Made a bad shot there. That's what happens, though, when you have that big hook. You really can't afford to make a mistake. So once you make a mistake, you've got something troublesome to shoot at, and the spares that you leave with that critical outside line are not easy. The 3, 6, 9, 10 is not a routine spare. He has to make the ball cover the 9-pin and get the other 3 at the same time. Perfectly done.
A 3, 6, 9, 10 pickup for Pete Weber.
You watch Pete as he shoots this spare cross lane, but makes the ball hook into the pins. Watch the ball hit the 3, 6 and go straight back to the 9-pin. Takes out all 4 pins.
And so right now, Pete Weber down by 24 in the 5th.
The line he's playing is very, very dangerous because if he lets it out too far, it can go in the gut. Perfect execution.
I'd like to see his reaction on this one, and we will.
You watch Pete here. Pete knows this ball is just in the pocket as high as you can get.
Hello.
That's it.
He's down 24. And Wayne Webb will go over and grab himself a little liquid sport, and while he does, we will take a pause. And when we come back to the Columbia 300 Open, we'll have more of Webb and Weber after this on the USA Network.
Fresh and clean as a whistle. That's Irish Spring. Fresh and clean as a whistle. Because Irish Spring's green and white stripes have 2 freshening deodorants. 2 deodorants for a fresher kind of clean.
And a fine, fresh scent.
So you're fresh and
Clean as a whistle.
Irish Spring deodorant soap gets you fresh and clean as a whistle.
Only from Chevrolet. Only until November 15th on both cars and trucks. Get a round-trip ticket for 2 on Eastern Airlines. Good for a full year. When you buy or order one of these new 1982 or 83 Chevrolets by November 15th. Fly across the country to visit relatives. Or give the round-trip ticket for 2 as a gift. Plus, on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars in financing costs. It's the best time to shop for a Chevy in the past 10 years.
Hal Lindsey's best-selling book stunned over 12 million readers, then became a motion picture of awesome impact. Now, The Late Great Planet Earth is an album.
Let all the men of the war draw near. Let them come up. Multitudes, multitudes in the Valley of Decision.
The voice of Orson Welles, as powerful as the words themselves, with the music of the London National Philharmonic. There's never been an album such as this. It takes your mind where it's never dared to go, to face the end of our time.
Is our planet truly in mortal peril?
The voice, the words, the album. The Late Great Planet Earth, with Orson Welles. To listen to it carefully is to change your life forever.
To charge, call 1-800-228-3388 or write Late Grade, P.O. Box 2633, Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Wayne Webb, he's 24 up right now, but they had a head-to-head competition last night, and it was a lot closer than this.
Oh, it was amazing. Between Pete Weber and Wayne Webb, they bowled a total of 2 games against each other. And Pete had averaged 263 and Wayne 261, and they split the matches 1 apiece. It was exciting.
Lofts it out there. Bango.
Well, you couldn't make a better shot than that. Wayne got the ball out on the lane far, followed through great. No trouble at all. You could tell as soon as you let it go whether you're going to hit the pocket or not, but it's just a matter of carrying. That's the only thing you have to wait for.
He can add to it and go up by 44 with a strike here.
Well, he's going to be a little hard to beat if he gets this one. Pete has definitely got his work cut out. And he maximum on that. And he got the end result of strike.
Well, he waltzed all the way over to the other lane, backed up, and gave it an emphatic clench fist reaction. And now leads by 44. Pete Weber's got some work to do here.
Pete, 86 in the 4th frame with a strike up. Could definitely use the help of 2 more strikes here. Beginning in, he's playing that tricky outside line, and he's got to make maximum execution here. He can't afford any mistakes. All the way out to the 1 board. Ball comes back. Keeps those pins nice and low, and he just scrambles them all over the pin deck.
Last night in the semis, it was 259-258. Webb by 1 over Weber.
Watch, Pete knows he sent it out, trying to help it back with his right arm. Got a break and took advantage of it.
And they could do some pretty good dance routines to the kind of steps and moves that we see out here.
Fred Astaire should take notes.
Pete Weber.
Pete needs this one. This is his good lane. He's hit the pocket every time on this lane thus far, but
very tight.
Just got a good break there, believe it or not. He made a bad shot on the lane, but he had the 3-6-7-10 standing, and a pin rolled over, hit the 7 pin. Now he only has a 3-6-10.
I asked him what he'd rather do. He said, drive to my next tournament. He said, there's nothing I'd rather do more than bowl. Pete Weber.
No, that was very costly for Pete. Spares usually are easy to Pete, but when you're hooking the ball that amount, anything can happen. Wayne knows what he has to do now. The sign of a great champion like he is, he will know he has to put together 2 more strikes to really take the match well in hand.
He has 6 strikes in a row working.
Good execution, perfect shot.
Make it 7.
Wayne now has 8 in a row. If you count the strike on his fill ball from the last frame, he's got 7 consecutive strikes here, and like Ed mentioned before, the $5,000 for 300 game on USA.
Carryover strike from the last game, 8 in a row. He's got the groove.
Looks like he pulled it a little. Well, Wayne threw that ball. He wanted to make sure he hit the pocket on that.
He's not a superstitious guy, so I felt free in mentioning that to you, but here it is.
Well, you watch, he pulled the ball, but with the excessive speed he had on it, it held the line. The ball just had nothing on the back end to knock the 10-pin out. Makes the spare routine. He's got this title match pretty well in hand now. He's got 199 through the 7th frame. And a spare in the 8th. Pete Weber, the best he can do is 229. Sends it out to the one board. Comes back. Well, there are advantages and disadvantages of throwing the big hook, and so far we've seen 2 disadvantages for Pete.
He's got a strike here, otherwise it's over.
Wayne, looking at the scoreboard, he's so pumped up now because he told me he wanted to win this tournament the worst way.
Still alive.
Well, theoretically, he is still alive. If Wayne gets a mark here and a count on his next ball, he will be our champion. You know, he gets so pumped up. He believes in that song, The Eye of the Tiger, that before he bowls on TV, he goes to his motorhome and listens to it 3 or 4 times.
Likes that, Rocky 3.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Wayne's performance today, Sylvester Stallone has nothing on Wayne Webb.
Let's see if he'll raise his hands to gesticulate his win. He's 1 pin, and you're looking at the new Columbia 300 Open champ. Took them all.
Well, he definitely got more than 1 pin, and we do have a champion here.
And he has gone to the winner's circle for the 10th time, or he will be going there. And with it, not bad, 13,000. Not bad for a guy that thought maybe he'd sit home this week, and then at the last moment decided to come up here and take a chance at a check.
Well, he definitely got the check. That was just a fun frame right there. He knows he won the tournament. It's his 10th victory, which means a lot.
Sore hand, silicone dressing and all. He had everything working against him, and he comes away with the big one.
Well, you never know on tour what tournament you're going to win, and you just have to bowl every one of them and make the most out of it.
And so Wayne Webb ends up with a 266. That's even better than he did last night. His average for the week, as I mentioned, 220. That big hook. I'm sure there are a few major league pitching coaches who would love to see some of their pitchers throw a hook like that.
Oh, that's amazing. He could definitely put Bruce Sutter out of business.
The Rookie of the Year in 1980, right here, beaten by the Player of the Year in 1980, Wayne Webb. Tough leave.
Pete's a little disappointed now. He knows the game's out of the wood. There's nothing he can do about it, so he's just trying to go up and finish, and then go on, like you said, drive to the next tournament.
But at age 20, it's all ahead of you.
That's right. The only way he can go is up.
There it is, 2 young guys. A lot of bowling ahead of him. And the champion, Wayne Webb, with a 266 over Pete Weber, who finishes with a 215. Webb with an average of 246 in the championship round. Boy, oh boy. Great bowling.
That's great bowling. But he's performed well all week, and it showed today. Kept his calm, made all good shots, and it worked out well for him.
Well, we'll be back to meet our champion. We'll do that when we break and come back for this on the USA Network.
Immaculate, spotless, clean as a whistle. But let's move closer, 7,000 times closer into the carburetor where we see dirt. Dirt like this could impede your car's performance. Fortunately, you can wash dirt away before it accumulates with mobile detergent gasoline. It treats dirt like dirt.
You know, for my money, every pair of slacks ought to be this comfortable. These are Levi's Action slacks. I own 4 pair now, and I'm convinced they may be the most comfortable slacks a man can wear. First, they have a hidden stretch waistband. It's a great invention. Second, the fabric gives for even more comfort. And now Levi's Action slacks are stay pressed. A washable permanent press that really stays pressed. You try them.
Computers for the home are really popular items. But which one's right for you? These? Powerful but very expensive. These? You want more software cartridges. This? Can't expand or program it right away. Which leaves this, the home computer from Texas Instruments. Memory, programmability, expandability, price. Plus a full range of software cartridges. This is the one.
The home computer from Texas Instruments.
Watch the USA Cable Network Sunday and be part of college football excitement as the Purdue Boilermakers battle the Wolverines from Michigan. Then get ready for our scoring show with the great Gretzky as the Edmonton Oilers take on the New York Rangers. Next, USA's English channel hops down under for a look at kangaroos. And then USA serves up the semifinals of the Benson & Hedges Championships from London. It all starts at 5 p.m. Eastern on USA Sunday.
And welcome back to the Sunnybrook Lanes here in Sterling Heights, Michigan, where we have just had an outstanding exhibition of bowling, and our winner this year is Wayne Webb. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been 2 years since we've been here, and I'm really happy to be back.
Wayne just mentioned that it's been 2 years since he's been here, and he's happy to be back, and I think it's interesting to note that coming into this event this week, you had given serious thought about maybe staying home and passing this whole event.
Well, I didn't want to pass it, but I figured if I came up and bowled, I'd probably be home Sunday night without a check, because I haven't bowled that well on silicone before, and just everything went right this week.
In addition to all of that, you've had a very sore hand. It's extremely swollen, and you had talked possibly about having to open up your ball before this event today. I guess you did go ahead and do that, and it all worked out well.
Yeah, in the practice, I opened the fingers up a little bit, and it enabled me to make a little bit better shots, and everything really ended up good.
So you open up the ball, and now you can open up the bank for 13 thou.
That's nice. I'd like to thank Sunnybrook Lanes for having us here again, and I hope we come back next year. It was just really a good time. The crowd's fantastic.
Well, I'd have to applaud for that myself. The next plateau now is that $100,000 a year, and you're very, very close.
Yeah, we're at, I think, 89,000 now. It's right about the same point I was last year, and the same 2 last tournaments. I came in second and just caught it by $580, and I just hope I can do it again this year.
Joe Berardi was working with us during the telecast today, and he was very interested in the way both you and Pete were bowling, and I think he perhaps has a comment, maybe a couple of questions for you.
Yeah, I would, Wayne. You know, all week you've been playing that, is it called critical outside line, the same line as Pete was using. But today, even in practice, you started there and you went inside. What made you move inside?
Well, part of it was the oil carried down so much more, and my ball didn't finish that much on the back ends. And the other part was I threw 10 gutter balls this week, and it would be nice to keep the ball in the lane and not worry about the gutter.
Well, even though you threw gutter balls, your spares were very easy. All you had to do was throw a strike again.
Yeah, but I never did.
Oh, one other thing. You said you didn't like, your preference to silicone wasn't that good. What do you think of it now?
Oh, I love it.
Wayne, we want to get on to the big stuff now, the things that you all came here for, and to start it off, we're going to give you a fabulous trophy, and in order to do that, make that presentation, we've got a man who's got a very interesting and very familiar name to old-time baseball players. This is Pepper Martin, who is the Senior Vice President of Sales for Columbia, and he's here to make this beautiful trophy presentation. Pepper?
Thank you very much, and Wayne, congratulations. And on behalf of Columbia 300, I'd like to present this nice trophy to you. on your 10th PBA win, and that's a big one. I hope you have about 20 more for very long. And thanks again, and congratulations again. And we'd like to thank the staff here at Sunnybrook Lanes and everyone concerned for hosting the Columbia tournament for Columbia 300. Thanks again.
Thank you, Pepper. I'd like to thank Columbia for hosting another great tournament. They do an awful lot for the PBA, and the tournaments that Columbia holds are real well appreciated. Thank you.
I know here is something that you're going to appreciate. This little check here for $13,000. That's not too bad, is it?
Oh, it's a good start.
Well, let's bring in the man who's representing the group that owns these Sunnybrook Lanes in an outstanding week of hospitality. This is Larry Duquette. Larry?
Thanks, Ed. Wayne, on behalf of Maurice Kane and Darrell Duquette, my father, and the city of Sterling Heights and the bowling fans of the Greater Detroit area, I'd like to give this check for $13,000. Hope you win it again next year.
Thanks a lot. And again, I'd like to thank Sunnybrook Lanes for hosting us again. You know, they really host a great tournament here, and again, the crowd's fantastic. I hope we come back next year.
Well, I do too.
Okay, thank you.
All right. There it is, Joe. We've got a little bit of time. Any final thoughts?
Well, like I said in the opening, I had a feeling we were going to have some high scores this week, and the final match was 266 to 215, and I think everybody would appreciate the show today because all the players bowled well.
All right. Very good. Thank you very much for being with us. Again, congratulations to Wayne Webb. Thanks to all the folks here at Sterling Heights. We'll be in Syracuse next week, and until that time, thanks for being with us, and so on. The Professional Bowlers Tour, the $100,000 Columbia 300 Open on the USA Network,